All right, welcome into Bettor's Last Stand here in the studio, the WVLY studio, as we have another rain out. It's a dreary, cool day here on a Wednesday afternoon here in Wheeling. But this is show 15 of Bettor's Last Stand, and we're not going to be rained out and have any impact from the elements here. So Jub's behind the glass. We got myself, Coach, and Luke here. I'm going to talk about all the betting stuff, everything that's been going on. We got lots going on. All the major sports are going right now. Baseball World Series starts Friday. We got NBA and NHL in full gear, and then we, of course, have football. So exciting stuff happening. Our Busch Light pick went down this week, unfortunately, with the Packers. That was a disappointment. Our Generations play with Luke Duplaga was 1-1. And our PRP picks, 12-9, up about 2 to 3 units, depending on what you got your prices at. But anyway, welcome into the show. We're going to talk about baseball and some of the other sports first, and then we're going to dive into the football card as we usually do the college card first, and then the pros to finish things up. Guys, how we doing today? We didn't all get together last week at the Pine Room, so it was a little bit of an odd week. You guys were at homecoming. Luke, you had an event. So, but I think this week, Coach, it sounds like most of the guys will be back.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back. We got a big night the night before, so I'm not sure how we'll all be feeling on Saturday.
Yes, the Halloween
shindig at River City. That should be exciting. Everybody's getting pumped up for that, getting their costumes. And Luke, you got your costume for Friday?
Well, I won't be there.
Oh, that's right.
He'll be painting his face in the Brooks student section.
Oh, that's right. You have a game. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
So those of you who aren't aware of what Coach is alluding to there, we have our Halloween party at River City from 7:30 to 9. We will be leading into the DJ for the night and then be judging the costume contest. Coach, that's a lot of pressure on us guys, and we're going to be able to send 2 lucky people to Nashville. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty. And then there's a bunch of other prizes that night too. We have right now, honestly, the Pine Room podcast and Pine Room in general have a lot going on. Yeah. We're in the midst of fixing up an office. We're growing exponentially, so we needed
bursting at the seams,
some office space. So Job and Jared are back there as we speak, painting and tearing some things down and hopefully putting some things back up, and then we're going to have a full-time office space thanks to Jake Robinson and his guys for providing us an office space, and obviously Kayleen and Rocky and Howard. We want to thank them once again for letting us be part of this team. They're so welcoming. I was thinking about that today.
Feels like we're one of the gang, right?
Yeah, how nice they are to us. You know, they just treat us like we've been here forever, and in today's world, man, that's unusual to find people that embrace you and want you to be part of their team, and don't feel like you're under them. They're much better than you. They just welcome us, and hopefully, I guess they hope that we can even try to make them better. So,
right.
So that's our goal, and we got all kind of things cooking. I mean, soup and stuff, and some of the other spinoffs that we're doing now, and some of the sponsors, we're doing things for them. And want to thank everybody, honestly, everybody out there that's supporting us, listening to either us on Mondays or listening to the podcast or listening to Bettor's Last Stand or listening to Soup and Stuff or some of the other goofy things that we're doing. We want to thank
our regular Monday radio show down here.
Thank everybody just for being part of it. Hopefully we keep growing, and we'd like to hear some more interaction. That's what we'd really like to have start happening. Some, some phone calls, some emails, some texts. If you have a Busch Light pick that you think would be a good one for us, we're struggling a little bit. We came out of the gate 4-0, and I think now we're 1-3 maybe.
Yeah, 1-3 or less.
Yeah, 1-3.
5-3 overall.
Yeah, so we.
I think we've struggled to find really something that somebody really loved in the group. We had that the first few weeks, but
and believe me, those are tough to find where you get 8-9 guys agree on one pick, or one guy says I absolutely love this. Yeah. And you can tell when a guy really likes something really heavy, and everybody else feels decent. But the picks they are what they are in this. Yeah. And, hey, we're 5-3. We're making money. So if you're following those Busch Light picks, you're still on the plus side. So it's a great time of the year. I don't think we're going to be in the Pine Room much more as far as shows go, because I think the weather weather's turning south on us a little bit here, and. But thanks again to folks down here for providing us a place to be able to do this, because as no pun intended, we would be out in the cold if it wasn't for these guys.
Yes,
so
very, very thankful that we're not sitting outside freezing to death, figuring out how to shield ourselves from the wind and protect our equipment and that kind of stuff.
But I think the weekend looks good. I think we'll be in the Pine Room for a great. I was just asking Matt. Hopefully, his work sometimes hampers him from attending a full day in the Pine Room.
Probable this week outside.
But he probably, thank goodness, he doesn't show up at noon and then imbibe until late night kickoff. So we're looking forward to the weekend again, and Luke's going to be joining us in the Pine Room. He was just giving me his itinerary for Saturday. It sounds like he's got his every day's packed for Luke. He's on the move. He's always checking.
High school athlete, constantly busy.
Checking things out. He works out like a maniac.
He's in high demand.
He looks like a Greek god now. He cuts grass with no shirt on now across the street, so everybody can check his guns out.
Well, that'll be ending here soon as the weather turns.
I don't know.
Chopping leaves or something, maybe.
Yeah, he wears those tight shirts, and all the girls honk when he goes by. I think they're honking at me, and they're honking at him.
Definitely.
Well, they're honking at me for different reasons.
Yeah.
So, Luke, you pumped up for the weekend, for baseball, for college football, and you just get into it all, don't you?
Oh yeah, I'm excited for everything. I'm more excited, honestly, for the World Series. I think this is going to be a really good series, especially this week one, Game 1 matchup with Wheeler and Verlander.
Actually, they switched that. Now Nola is pitching, so Nola on full rest. So as we get ready, we'll just jump right into the World Series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nola and Verlander. That was going to be Wheeler, but that Wheeler, they said, was on short rest. I'm not really sure why they ever listed him anyway, but it will be Nola now. Price is pretty much the same. Astros about 160, Game 1. The return on the Phillies, plus 140-ish, 6.5 the total. Guys, I think the Astros are going to be tough to beat here. I think the Phillies will give them a little bit of fight, but if the Astros win those first two in Houston, that's a huge thing. If the Phillies can steal one, though, we saw that work in their favor, having that middle three at home against the Padres. So
yeah, the one thing I do hope is that the World Series is better than the League Championship Series. To both sides, they were anticlimactic to say the least. I mean, after we had the wild card and then the first round games, there was some tremendous excitement and drama in those with 17 inning games and
Game 5,
Game 5s, and the wild cards were great. And boy, it sure took a dud in the League Championship Series. So hopefully, though, I'd love to see it go 7. I hate this. It's unbelievable I'm saying it, but I hope the Phillies win. I'm just an Astros hater. I just do not like the Astros for a lot of reasons. But I don't know. If Nola can. And Zach Wheeler's tough. If they, like you say, if they could steal one in Houston,
they get 3 in a row.
And then you look for 2 out of 3 at home, and then you got to go back and split, on the road. But like you said, that Astros lineup is probably a little too strong, and
they're pitching so deep. Their bullpen, everything they have is good, and they're battle tested. And they're not going to be intimidated going into that Philadelphia park with those crazy lunatics like some of these other teams have been. The Astros were the most hated team in baseball for the last few years. They've been booed and heckled everywhere they've gone.
Yep.
I don't think it'll be a quick series, but it honestly would not surprise me if somehow the Astros just rolled them. But we'll see. If the Phillies can, like we said, steal one of those first 2 games, then they definitely have a chance. Bets that I'm interested in, I don't know about you guys. I like the Astros to win it. If I had to make a prediction, I would say the Astros in 6. I like that right now, plus 375. So I'm going to be on that. I'm also going to be on the Astros minus 1.5, which is you can also get a plus return on that one. And I'm also going to play the series under 6.5 at plus 210. I think those are all decent. And then guy I was looking at for MVP, I've been very impressed with him. He plays great defense, and he's been hitting a little bit, and that's Jeremy Pena, the young shortstop for the Astros. He's right now 17-1. Obviously, if the Astros win, you expect Yordan Alvarez or Altuve, who's been cold but heating up a little bit. He hit the ball well the last game. To be the MVPs, or if the Phillies win, you're expecting Harper or Hoskins or somebody But take a look at some of those guys under the radar. You never know. In this thing, I mean, he hits 2 big home runs in this series. He could be the MVP. So do you guys have any thoughts on MVP or how far the series will go? Any game handicaps? Anything interest you?
Luke, you got anything that you stands out?
I like Bregman for MVP.
I like that. I could definitely go with Bregman. Yep. Right now, what is he? He's 12-1. That's a pretty good price. A guy who's been hitting the ball really, really well. Some tidbits that I saw in this series, the Astros and Phillies both hit left-handed pitching really well. So keep that in mind in your in-game betting, as the Astros, I think, only maybe have one left-handed pitcher that's from the bullpen. Framber Valdez, their Game 2 starter, is a left-handed pitcher. The Phillies, I know their Game 3 starter, Suarez, is a lefty. I'll be getting on the Astros heavy in that game, even though it's going to be back in Philadelphia. These teams both crush left-handed pitching, so be aware of that when you're looking at in-games and you get a pitcher coming in the next inning. Maybe you get a chance to, even if you're not betting a side, Coach, you like to bet those will be a run scored in the inning, those kinds of things when you get these kind of matchups. And Kyle Tucker, who amazingly is a left-handed hitter, he hit 13 home runs this year against left-handers, so which is pretty cool. Astros led the league in home runs off left-handed pitching with 72. So some interesting things there. I think it could be a good series, but again, I think the Astros are going to be very tough to beat. The depth of their pitching far exceeds the Phillies, and if the Phillies defense continues to perform and they get what they can out of their bullpen, then perhaps they have a chance. I don't know, Coach. Any bets interest you? Anything that you're really like?
I was just on go back to the league championship. What are your guys' thoughts on the Yankees and their performance in the league championship series? Do you think the Astros were just superior, or do you think the Yankees sort of exhibited the way they played most of the second half of the season?
Luke?
I just don't think they had the pitching. I think their bullpen was just horrible.
I think it was their hitting. I think offensively, and look what Aaron Judge did in the league. Now, not that he didn't have just an incredible year, but he struggled. I think he had 1 home run in the league championship series. But that whole offensive firepower that they were supposed to have never really. They never had an explosive series or explosive run offensively. I don't know.
No, they never even strung together 4 or 5 hits in an inning. I think LeMahieu being out hurt them a lot. A constant stabilizer at the top of the lineup. If you noticed, Aaron Boone had a different lineup every single playoff game except one. He repeated that was throughout the Cleveland series and the Houston series. But I agree, Coach. I thought their starting pitching was good enough to win. I thought their bullpen, hit or miss. Some nights their guys had it, some nights they didn't. But I thought their lineup really let them down. I think if you're looking at that series, you're expecting the Yankees to at least score 4 or 5 runs every game. They couldn't barely get to 4. I think they got 4 once.
I mean, you watched them; they were painful to watch at times. They were struggling to score. I mean,
it also shows you that Judge probably is the MVP without doubt. Without him there,
my goodness.
What would they have done?
And what's going to happen what's going to happen to him?
Do you see the report about the Dodgers? They're already eyeing him up.
Oh, really?
They want him, and they're going to move Mookie Betts to second base. That's their plan.
I heard the Giants won't be outbid. That's what I got. They won't be outbid for him.
Yeah, well, wasn't he from out there? Isn't he from that area?
I don't know.
I think he is. I know he think he may have rooted for the Giants as a kid. I remember them saying that could play a role. I mean, the Giants can't let the Dodgers get him, so they'll probably bid. But again, if he decides he wants to go with the team that can win right away. I like Judge as a guy. I mean, I do hope he leaves New York. They deserve everything they get. They bought everybody for years and years and years, and now their plans fizzled out. I think the young Steinbrenners aren't as cutthroat as their father. He would have axed Brian Cashman years back, and he absolutely would have axed Boone probably after they went on that losing streak. After the All-Star break. I think the Yankees are in serious trouble.
I agree.
I know there's our friends, Nick especially, who thinks they can just outbid people. They're not. They're not the destination spot anymore.
No.
They're just the New York Mets now are more enticing to free agents. I think they got better pitchers. They got a better lineup. They got a better manager. I don't know. I see the Yankees. I see hard times ahead for them.
I agree 100%. That's why I brought that up, because I think this is going to be the last time you see them.
And you got the Blue Jays who are up and coming. You got the Rays who are solid. In Boston had an uncharacteristically bad season. They will load up on free
Baltimore.
agents. And Baltimore has a great young nucleus. I think it's not going to be far before the Yankees are finishing down near the bottom of that division every year. So.
Yeah, I know Nick will be he's probably going to throw something against the wall when he hears this and be upset. But it's the truth. If you really look at it, it's the truth.
And Luke's right about their pitching. Garrett Cole's not a number one. They just don't have. Garrett Cole is a 2.5 or 3 on most staffs. He's just not good enough to win these big games. You need guys who are going to put zeros up and not give up home runs in the third inning like he did the other night. I don't see the Yankees doing much at all. So,
and then were you guys shocked at how quickly the Dodgers went out in the playoffs?
A little bit, but I think the time off hurt them. The rust factor. I don't know, some timely hitting by the Padres, and the Padres kind of got it going, but then they tapered off. The other day, Bob Melvin's job of managing in Saturday's game, a game that you have to win. And, Coach, I'm interested to hear what you say about this. Now, the situation, they were up 4-0 early or whatever. That game ended up getting tied at 4. Soto hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 6th to give them a 6-4 lead. And they had gotten a couple of good innings out of their bullpen guy to kind of keep the Phillies. The Phillies at bay. So I thought that was the time that you have to win that game to get it back to San Diego. You have to win.
Right.
So you got a 2-run lead. You're going to the bottom of the 6th, and he brings in Sean Manaea. I thought that was the time you got to go. You almost have to bring Hader into the game there because he can throw 2 innings at least to get you through, and then you just figure it out as you go. But you can't give up that lead right there. You got to use your best. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree 100%. I was shocked at how that played out, and Hader, that point was you're gonna win or lose with him,
right.
and
he pitched 1 inning in the series. You got him for these kinds of things.
That's why you got him.
And he's won, and he finally got himself sorted out. He was having some issues, but he really got locked in there towards the end of the year. And it was really disappointing to see him only throw 1 inning because you want him. He's the only guy in baseball that can go multi-innings for a closer nowadays anyway.
And like you say, if he gets extended a little bit, they have a day off the next day. Yep. And in that situation, I'm sure that he could bounce back 2 days later and give him another inning. And if he had to go two plus innings, He's thrown enough to be able to do that.
Right.
I agree. That was a must-win game, and they let it slip, and that was it.
And then the second part of it, going to Manaea, who's a starting pitcher who has been awful for the majority of the season. His ERA was up near 7. He's been terrible. He can't get guys out. He's walking guys. I thought that, too, was crazy because their bullpen as a whole had been pretty solid. Just craziness there from Bob Melvin. And then I guess I didn't get to see this live, but I was reading about it, saw some highlights. I guess they really botched the end of the game. They had 2 guys on late in the game on Sunday, down a run, and they had an issue where they don't know if the guy they were trying to sacrifice bunt or whatever, but they made a mess of that as well. We were actually at the prison doing our show at the prison, which was be sure everybody checks that out. Our regular podcast this week. We're going to be we were at the West Virginia State Penitentiary down in Moundsville. A really cool thing there. They had us out on the porch. We had our regular show. We had some great guests, so be sure and check that out if you haven't yet. Really cool place. Check it out. Go down there before Halloween. Take the tour. Go in the haunted house. Really great stuff. But anyway, we missed that, and it sounded like Bob Melvin had his own haunted house that night or that weekend. But disappointing for the Padres. Well, they finally get by the Dodgers, and then they let it go like that. Didn't even get it back to San Diego.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make my prediction for the series, and I'm gonna say the Phillies in 7. That's gonna be my call.
Luke, what do you say?
I'm gonna go Astros in 5.
I say Astros in 6.
Okay, so I'm writing these down.
And by the way, Judge is from Sacramento.
Okay. But that would be Northern California, so he probably was. That would be the A's and the Giants are the closest teams. So perhaps he was a Giant fan. I thought I heard that somewhere, but could be wrong.
All right.
That concludes the baseball talk. Look, just a couple thoughts that I had just about early season NHL and NBA that we talked about last week. Just some of the trends early on in the season. You want to start to pay attention to these things as you go. Throughout the year, you're going to see teams on these heaters where in NHL, first period overs and unders, you have teams that are really going to catch fire, and it's just in their DNA that they're either going to surrender goals early or they play really buttoned up in the first period, and they're going to keep the totals down. So most of the time, you're going to see a total around 1.5 in a first period in the NHL. But I've noticed a lot of books are juicing them heavily to the over, and you're also seeing a lot of 2s popping up there. A couple of the teams that I wanted to mention that are over teams so far. My Anaheim Ducks, who I talked about last week, they've been off to a rough start. They've lost a couple of high-scoring games. They're 5-1 to the over in the first period. The Flames are 5-0 as well, or 5-0. Minnesota Wild 5-1 to the over in the first period, and the Vancouver Canucks 5-0 to the over in the first period. So keep an eye on teams like that as you continue to see these trends. They've really held up over the years. If teams start to prove after 10 or 12 games that they play this kind of style, you can start to bank on these. And I would say if the team plays 3 nights a week, you're going to get 2 of them to come in for you. So keep an eye on that. You could also look at stats for teams that play overs for the games. Like Penguins are 5-2 to the over. Blue Jackets, Kings are both 6-2. So anyway, look around for your trends. You can find those on many of the sites, covers.com, Wager Talk, any of those places. You can check them out. Look for the trends. And then in the NBA, Luke, have you had any observations of the NBA? Have you watched many of the games yet?
Yeah, there's actually there's just not a dominant team, it looks like, this year as I've seen so far. A team that's surprising is the Jazz. Losing all those
supposed to be tanking too.
Start off 3-0.
Yeah,
good start. Lakers, they have no shooting.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's a mess in LA.
Are they still winless?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they're 0-3, right?
Yeah. Did you see how they lost the other night? It was they had 19 seconds left, and not like shot clock was still at like 12 or something, and Westbrook comes up and shoots a mid-range and misses it.
Why is he in the game?
Yeah.
You just got to wonder what Darvin Ham's thinking, having him in the game. But yeah, NBA right now, Warriors look like an over team. I think they're 4-0 4-0 to first half overs, 4-0 for the game in overs. The Pelicans, they've been scoring some points. They look pretty decent if they can keep Zion healthy, but that'll never happen. I would agree with that. Under teams so far, first half unders, Portland and Washington both 4-0 to the under, and then under teams for the game. The Clippers expected to have a really good defense. They're 4-0 to the under. Timberwolves a little surprising, 3-1 to the under. The Thunder 3-1 to the under, but they're not a very offensively gifted team. And then the Sixers 3-1. They've been off to a terrible start. They finally won, but boy, what a! And then Embiid saying he's out of shape. I mean, why? You're a top performing athlete. You complained all offseason you didn't get the MVP, and then you come back out of shape. You just got to question. I don't know. Philadelphia sports to me are just amazing. As the Eagles are rolling, the Phillies are rolling, and then you got the Sixers bringing the city down. Flyers suck, but I thought observations from these, just pay attention to these teams. These trends tend to hold up at a pretty decent percentage when you're looking at overs and unders. So I invite people to explore the overs and under trends for NHL and NBA. And then one thing that I wanted to talk about from a football standpoint before we go into the college card after the break is teasers. I heard a really good piece this morning on a radio show that I listened to where professional bettor was on there talking about how people are falling in love with these teasers and they're playing them just blindly. And for those of you who aren't aware, teasers are similar to parlays, but you're buying points to get a point spread down or a total down or up depending on what it is you're betting. Like, for instance, the Steelers this week are plus 10.5 against the Eagles. So if you're going to tease the Steelers, you have an option to tease them a 6-point tease, a 6.5-point tease, or a 7-point tease. So if you tease by 7, you would get the Steelers down to up to 17.5. Those can be beneficial when you're doing it for teams who are underdogs, and you can tack on an extra touchdown that you can get to cover the spread. Now, if you're going to tease the Eagles and you tease the Eagles down to 3.5, that would be very, very stupid. Yeah. 3 is a key number. You would never want to tease a team down from 10.5 to 3.5. You would want it to be under 3. So that's one of the key things. You always tease with the mindset that you're going to get inside the 3 if you're the favorite, or outside the 3 or outside the 7 or inside the 7, depending on if you're favored or not. You want to be, if you're the Eagles, you want to be laying less. If you have the Eagles, you want to be laying less than 3. So 10.5 would not be a good spot to tease. 10.5 to tease, or 10.5 for the Steelers on a tease wouldn't be a bad spot. It gets you to 17.5. But knowing the numbers are so important. You don't want to waste points, and you're paying for these points. So 6.5, 6.5, and 7-point teases in the NFL, you're looking at minus 120, minus 130, minus 140, and upward for a 2-team tease. And then you can get into plus money for the 3s. But be sure, if you're not sure about it, you can email the show, contact at thepineroompodcast.com. I can talk you more through this. But be sure you're not just throwing away numbers out there. People that tease and don't get the team that they're laying the points with down underneath the 3. If you're going to tease a team, you got to be having that in your mindset. If you're teasing a favorite, you want to tease them to where they're giving less than 3 points, no matter what. You never want to let it hang at 3.5, or same as 7. If you had a team that was laying 14, I think there is. Is there a game that's that high this week
in the pros?
Yeah, no, there actually isn't.
The Bills are
quite, 11.
Bills giving 11 to the
Packers. So even the Bills, that makes no sense to tease the Bills. And the advice that this guy gave too, and I totally agree with this, is if you're going to put teasers or with teams like the Eagles and the Bills, be sure that you explore the money lines. You may be better off putting those teams together in money line parlays. And on a lot of these apps now, you can actually mix in alternate spreads, which you could be using as a teaser leg, and then putting them with money lines, so you can mix and match. And a lot of books are letting you do that now. So please do that. Try to start to get better at teasing. But I know so many people that play these teasers and they think, oh, if I get 6-7 points on this team, this is a guarantee. But you're wasting your money because you're laying a big price for these, and you're not getting the value. So again, if you have questions, email the show. I'll be happy to talk more about it. I'm not going to bore you to death with it. But if it's something that you play regularly, be sure and contact us if you're not sure. We'll be glad to guide you through it. But guys, are you guys teaser play? Luke, I know your dad likes to play teasers. Coach.
I'm not much of a teaser, but I just think it's so many times you don't see that number come into play to help you, and to hit a 4-team teaser is just, you think that it looks so good, it looks so tempting, it looks so easy, and honestly, many times that 6 or 7 points or whatever you're buying doesn't come into play. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't, and I don't think it's called a teaser because they're teasing you.
They sure are.
And it's not.
And you're paying for it. You're getting kind of ripped off.
Your odds are just terrible. I know your dad, Luke. He loves them, doesn't he?
Yes.
He plays those the big ones, those 13 pointers.
Those pleaser teasers, I think they're called.
So those are, for you that aren't aware, there are pleaser teasers. A lot of places have them now. DraftKings is adding them. They're 13-point teases, and they also have most books. These have been around for years. The 10-point tease, 10.3 team teasers. Most books have those as well. That's strictly for 3. You can't do any more. You can't do any less, and you can get 10 on those, but those are minus money. So that means you're laying juice to do that. So be aware. Another thing, too, just know your house rules about teasers, too. Some places rip you off even more, so they juice these things through the eyeballs, and then if you tie on one, it's a loser. So be sure, don't ever play a teaser anywhere that ties lose. That would be horrible. If you hit a 4 or 5 leg teaser and you have one tie, you won't want that ticket to be a loser. So never, ever do that. And then I can't recommend this enough. Don't tease college games. You can't. They're not worth it. Like Coach said, that number doesn't come into play as much as you think. You're wasting money. Most professional guys will tell you can only ever tease the NFL. So anyway, those are our tips on teasers. Hopefully that helps people out. Maybe people that aren't aware of them, read about them, look, do a little research, see if it's something maybe you're interested in. But I would say proceed with caution, and be sure you have a plan when you're getting ready to do that. But we are going to take a break here on Bettor's Last Stand, and we're going to come back and talk college football with Luke Duplaga, get his generations picks,
11-5,
and then go through the entire card. We'll be right back.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand, episode 15. This is our college football segment, but we're going to get 2 winning picks here from Luke Duplaga down in Generations. He was 1-1 last week, looking to get back in the 2-0 column as we go forward. We'll see if he's going to dabble into college or pros this week. Luke, welcome back to the show as always. Where are we going this week, man? Are we sticking in the pros, or are we going to go college and pro, or what are you going to do?
We're going to go back to college.
Okay.
What conference we heading to?
A little bit of independent and ACC and Big 12.
Okay. I think that independent might be Notre Dame-Syracuse game, Luke.
Oh, okay, big boy.
All right, what do you got? Fire away.
Notre Dame plus 2.5.
Okay. All right.
Any reasoning there after watching Notre Dame struggle this year?
It's a must win.
Must win in terms of what? Why? Just obviously the coach isn't going anywhere, but just for their
coach isn't going anywhere. Pride.
Yeah, well, you're right about that.
And so you think they're going to take care of the Qs, who's having a heck of a year? You think Notre Dame can pick it up, huh?
I think so. I'm a big fan of their coach.
Yeah, I am too. Luke's sitting here, massive Notre Dame fan. Luke, what's your thinking?
I agree with that pick.
All right, he's all smiles.
He's smiling.
I mean, they're playing in a basketball arena. Come on, Notre Dame is supposed to be a football. Powerhouse. You're going to lose in that arena.
Yeah, the Carrier Dome.
All right, so Luke's the first pick out of the gate, the Irish catching 2.5. Where are we headed in pick 2?
We're going with TCU pounding the Mountaineers minus 7.5. Come on, that should be like a 14.
Yeah, the public all over TCU right now, so I expect that line will probably start going up. But yeah, you might be right. This could be a bad spot for the Mountaineers.
This could be really bad.
I can't see them. I can't see them regrouping, Luke. I really can't. I think.
I feel bad for that JT Daniels. He could play anywhere in the country. I don't see him staying there next year.
Yeah, that could be tough.
I think they've thrown in the towel. Honestly, I do. I'm a Neil Brown guy. I like him, but I think they've thrown in the towel. And if they get their ass kicked this week, I think they're. Yeah, I think they're gonna. Now I've heard. Have you heard anything about Hugh Freeze? I heard something about that. I heard that those are the name popping around. You heard anything?
I haven't heard anything, but the biggest mistake was letting Luke Fickell go back in the 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. And people thought Neil Brown was going to be the answer, and I'm not saying everything is his fault, but these are his players, they are his recruits, and if they were in games, it'd be different than what they did against Texas and Texas Tech. That's just embarrassing.
Yeah, it's sad, but not even 10 years ago they were top 5 program.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're gonna take the Irish plus 2.5. TCU to throttle our beloved Mountaineers.
Yes.
Hey, Luke. Well, we got you on here. What are your thoughts on the Raiders this week as they head down to the Bayou to play New Orleans?
Oh, Raiders, they'll cover. Whatever the spread is, they'll cover. The Raiders are about to go on a streak.
Okay, they're laying 2 on the road right now.
Hey,
I don't care what they are. It's the Raiders, baby.
Hey, your man Josh Jacobs on my fantasy team. He's killing it.
Yeah,
he is killing it.
Yeah.
You know what's the best part about it? They're going to have to pay him now. They
right.
give Darren Waller all this money. He doesn't even play.
Yep.
And they decline his 5th year. They're going to have to show him some money.
Right. Yeah. Jacobs, I saw where he has the best start for a Raiders running back since Darren McFadden. Man, that seems like a long time ago. But
what a throwback that was.
Yeah. Hey, so what's going on down at Generations this weekend?
Nothing much, really. Halloween weekend, just pretty much football, beer, wings, burgers. We're not doing a Halloween party, but same old usual stuff's going to happen, food-wise and beer-wise specials.
Hey, and you got your Super Bowl boards going too, right?
Yeah, they're going. I need to start selling them.
Yes. Yes.
All right, we got to get the word out. You got a $100 and a $50 board?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's plan a show out here. Bettor's Last Stand.
I'd love to do that. Yes, definitely. You just tell us when, man. We'll make it happen. Just whatever week works for you.
Anytime.
Okay. We'll get that on the books here soon then. But thanks for joining us as always, Luke. Best of luck this week with Notre Dame and the Horned Frogs. And we will talk to you next week, buddy. Thank you.
All right, Luke.
All right.
Talk to you, buddy.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
right,
thank you. See you. Yep, that was Luke Duplaga giving us his 2 picks, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and TCU Horned Frogs. Thanks again to Generations for everything they've done for us. We're going to try to do a Bettor's Last Stand on site somewhere. We haven't done that yet, so that's pretty cool. Be looking for that in the coming weeks. But we're going to dive into the College Card now and see what us three geniuses can come up with as Luke started us off with a couple of noon games. Coach, the noon card this week is the strongest area of the card. It looks like not very good night games.
Yeah, 3:30 last weekend was the strong part of the card. But I'm with you. The noon Saturday looked good. We got a couple of things to toil with before that. The Virginia Tech North Carolina State's an interesting.
I'll be giving out the Wolfpack as a heavy play if this show was going to be on before Friday morning. That's a Thursday night game. You guys like anything in the Thursday Friday segments?
And we'll see this. I like NC State also.
I think NC State.
Virginia Tech.
What about Washington State, Utah? If you had to make a play on that one, that line's dropping. Utah was like almost 8. Now it's down to 7.
I'd play Washington State at home there on the late night FS1 game. Yeah, sure. I'd play Washington State catching us to. Would you say it's down?
Well, it's down to 7. If you wanted to get them, you would have loved to have had a 7.5. That's for sure. But I agree. I'm gonna be on the Cougars. Anything on Friday night? I think East Carolina's been a team that's been playing really well. I don't know how they'll do on the road though at BYU.
Yeah, I don't have much of a feel on that game at all. I can't figure either one.
Yeah,
of those
they're
teams.
tough. Yep. Both teams. The East Carolina very good at home, just okay on the road.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into this noon kickoff. Boston College and UConn. Any thoughts on that game? Sharp money on the under. That's not the highlight of the noon card by any means. Any opinions on that game?
Well,
probably under.
Boston College is 6-0 in this series, 5-1 against the spread. Connecticut, they pulled that upset against Fresno State.
It's going to be a tricky game for BC.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm with you. I'd probably play the under in that game. I don't anticipate a lot of points in that game, but I don't have a big feel.
I love BC here. That's one of my strongest plays. I love Boston College.
All right. Oh, that's bold. Not really. I mean, going to Connecticut's been a doormat for years, but they are getting a little bit better. That'll be a good game, actually. I'm be anxious to check it out. All right, let's move to the big game of the day. Ohio State at Penn State. I thought this would be a night game and a whiteout, but they did that last week, and they beat Minnesota pretty good. Ohio State minus 16 on the road, total 61. This is an interesting start off in the wagering pools. Public all over Penn State, but I did hear a couple of respected bettors also backing Penn State. Most of the sharp money on Ohio State. I don't know, guys. This is a game I'm thinking that I really like the under in this game. I think that's way, way too high of a spread. Penn State's going to try to keep this at a snail's pace if they have any chance.
I agree with that 100%. Penn State's actually covered 5 of the last 6 in this series, which I tend to think that they may. I don't think they have a chance of winning the game. Well, they always have a chance to win a game, but right. I like them to stay. I like them to stay within the spread here. I like the Nittany Lions at home. I'm trying to see here. Ohio State's not covered 3 of the last 4 in Happy Valley, so I think that Penn State will hang around in this game.
Yeah, Luke, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm on Penn State here as well. I think Ohio State hasn't been battle tested enough, and I don't think they've proved. I don't think people talk like they're all good. I don't think they're everything people think they are.
Yeah, honestly, the best team they've beaten has been you guys, and you haven't had your best year. So, I'm skeptical on Ohio State. I think they're right now. I don't disagree because people will always say, "Oh, you hate Ohio State," but I'm trying to be unbiased here. They are the best team right now visually, but they haven't played anybody. This is the first step up they've taken in a while. We'll see what they can do. I expect them to win the game. I'm going to be on the under, and if I had to make a play, I would wait till the very end and hope some Ohio State money comes in and I can get 17 with Penn State. That's where I would be going. All right, let's go to your game, Luke. A noon kick as well. Notre Dame Fighting Irish visiting the Syracuse Orange in the Carrier Dome. The Orange now a 2.5-point favorite. The total 47.5. Notre Dame opened a small favorite, -1. And the public money has swayed this, which is interesting. That means it's coming in barrels on Syracuse. That worries me a lot. Syracuse has been great this year. They've been good at home. They've had a tough loss last week. I'm very leery of teams that the public get behind, such as Syracuse, guys. I think Notre Dame might be the right side here, as Luke Duplaga thinks it is, as he gave us that one of his picks a couple minutes ago. What are you guys thinking?
Luke?
Yeah, I actually do, not being biased. I like the Irish here. I think they're going to be they'll come into the Carrier Dome. I think they'll be ready to play. And Freeman needs another ranked win under his belt, so I think he'll get one here against the Orange.
I would agree, Coach.
And I would honestly, I would lean for us as a group to play Notre Dame as our Busch Light pick this week.
Boy.
If we were all going to be together and really pull, because we're going to need
maybe if the Doyles are in the pond,
we're going to need all of our cheering and rooting and craziness to be pulling the same rope. But I would play Notre Dame. I really like Notre Dame here, but I've been on Notre Dame 2 or 3 times this year, and it hasn't worked out real well for me. So
even last week they let the cover get away from them. They should have easily covered.
I thought they'd cover that guy. I told you last week, Luke. I thought they'd win that game handily, and they let it.
They should have.
Yeah,
absolutely. What do you guys think on the total? I'd lean to the under here. I think points will be tough. I think Syracuse defense is legitimately pretty good. Thoughts on the total? Any strong
no strong feel there.
Okay.
I like the Irish.
All right, everybody on the Irish all the way around. All right, Arkansas at Auburn, another noon kick in the SEC. Right now, the Razorbacks minus 3.5 on the road. The total 61.5. Opened around 59.5, up a couple points. Some big money coming in on the over in this game. I can see this game being an up and down game, guys. The two teams I don't think are very good though.
I don't like either one of these teams either. Don't have much of a feel in it. Arkansas is 0-6 straight up and 1-5 against the spread in this series. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't have much of a feel. I've watched Auburn several times. That have not
much to your agony.
Yes, have not been impressed with that. I'd probably say if I was going to play this game, which I probably will, I would lean towards the under in this game.
Okay.
But no strong feel.
Yeah, Luke.
I would take the Razorbacks here. I think Arkansas was a disappointment this year, but Auburn's just really bad. So I think I would lean the Razorbacks. But that 3.5 might be a little fishy. I think that it could be a 3-point ball game.
I'm with you. This is an interesting game, not because the teams are good, but because they're both similar and not very good. I've watched both these teams and been backing them both in bad spots, and they've not come through. I'm probably staying away from the game. I will watch intently, see what happens, but probably not one of my stronger plays.
Yeah.
All right, also a noon kick. The TCU Horned Frogs come to Morgantown to visit the West Virginia Mountaineers. TCU minus 7.5, the total 69. Public all over TCU here. Signs that the West Virginia Mountaineers have kind of packed it in, as Coach and Luke Duplaga were talking about earlier in the segment. I don't know what to think about this game. I want to say West Virginia can be competitive at home in this game, but the public money on TCU also makes me kind of like the Mountaineers. But I don't know, Coach. You guys make a strong point that they may be packed it in.
Yeah, that's my worry that the Mountaineers have packed it in. But is this a catch game for TCU? Is this a game where they are 7-0? They're walking on the clouds, and they think they're unbeatable. And the Mountaineers have at times, especially against Baylor, have showed that they can score points. Now their offense went in the tank last week.
How about their defense?
It's unbelievable.
590 and 594 yards given up the last 2 games. I mean, that's hard to do.
It is, and it, obviously it's showing in the crowds coming to the Mountaineer games.
Yeah.
It's showing in the on the social media end of it. Neil Brown's obviously in a bunch of trouble, and if they go out and lay an egg this week and get just slaughtered again like they did against Texas and Texas Tech, they may have to make a move just to get the crowd. They can't continue to lose the crowd and the people in West Virginia, because it's not going to get any better if they get beat. But I don't know. It could be a little bit of a trap game for TCU. Yeah. Mountaineers homecoming. Who knows? I don't know. I just don't see Mountaineers covering though.
Yeah, Luke, what are you thinking?
I'm on the Mountaineers here actually.
Okay.
I think Morgantown will be rocking it.
I agree.
I don't know. I think TCU is another fraud team. I don't think they're good at all. I think the Big 12 is a joke. in football, and all these recruits still wanting to go to Oklahoma, which is another thing that's got me fired up lately. It just makes no sense. That program and A&M, they look like they're going the wrong direction. I don't know why recruits want to go there.
A&M, yeah, we'll get to them in a little bit. Oh boy,
I read some of those things though.
Oh good Lord! All right, let's move on to a game that team that Luke just talked about. Oklahoma Sooners visiting the Iowa State Cyclones. The Sooners -1 on the road. This game actually open -1. I think it's now Iowa State is now -1. So that's a flip-flop there. Iowa State was the home dog. They are now a 1-point favorite to total 56. And I was just going to say Matt Campbell 10-3-1 as a home dog, but that may be thrown out as the line moves to his favor. I don't think Oklahoma is ready yet. They're a couple years away with Venables. Iowa State, I'm not a backer of. Campbell, I think, just continues to squander good talent. I don't know. I'll be sitting this game out, guys. Any thoughts?
I'm playing this game over the total. Okay. I think after watching Oklahoma last week, and I think they can score some points, and I think defensively they'll struggle against Iowa State. I like this game a lot over the total of 56.
Okay, Luke?
I'm on Iowa State here. I just think, again, with Oklahoma, I mean, they get a defensive coach that comes there, and the defense looks like they've never played football before, so it doesn't make sense. So give me Iowa State here.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on the road at Florida State. Rodney Seminoles. Seminoles -24 right now. Actually opened at 19.5, the total 47. So tons of money coming in on Florida State right now. The professionals hitting them pretty good. I don't believe they played last week. I think they're off a bye.
Yeah, they were.
They have good. I think they have pretty good numbers off a bye, if I remember reading earlier. But any strong thoughts on this game, guys?
I love Florida State in this game. Okay. I think Florida State takes care of business. They've lost a couple of real close games recently, coming off a bye, as you said, even though amazingly, Georgia Tech has won the last two meetings and 7-0 against the spread since 2015. And then, as we said, Florida State's lost 3 since starting out the season 4-0. I still think that Florida State takes care of business here and wins this game very, very handily. I think
So you're fine laying the 24 as it is now.
Flex their muscles and win this game handily.
Okay. Luke?
I'm against you. I'm on Tech here. I think Florida State's another team that hasn't proven themselves over the last many years, and I think Georgia Tech honestly could win the game. I haven't seen enough from Florida State to prove that they can cover 24 against another ACC opponent.
I wouldn't count it out either. I'd like to think Florida State was trending in the right direction, but you never know in the ACC. These teams are bad. So speaking of another bad team, my team, the Miami Hurricanes at the Virginia Cavaliers. Miami somehow continues to be favored in these games, and if you remember last week, I told you not to bet them. I hope nobody did because, again, they're humiliated at home. This week they go on the road to Virginia, -2, the total 47.5. This actually is a game I think Miami might be able to win, but I would not be betting them at all. These are two really, really, really bad teams. I think it's a stay-away game. Guys, do you have any thoughts on this one?
I like the game under the total.
Okay.
That's the way I'd lean. I don't not strong on it, but I think this is a really good underplay. I really like an under.
Luke?
I'm against you. I like the over here.
Okay, wow, all right.
Man, Luke and I battle on these shows. Wow.
Game, all right. Well, you're going to get right. One of you is going to be right, I think.
Well, unless it hits right on.
Right on, and it depends on what somebody bet it at. Yeah, it can hit right around the number. All right, let's move on to the Big Ten. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights visiting the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Gophers -14, total 41. My Gopher bet is all but up in flames as I bet them over back in the summer. They're a mess right now. I want to say Fleck can get it together, but they haven't looked good, but this could be a get-well game for them. Yeah. I actually like Minnesota in this spot, and I like the game under as well. I'm not sure Rutgers will score much.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Minnesota. I've liked them since the beginning of the year, even though they have stumbled here lately. I believe they've lost 3 straight.
Yeah,
they've lost 3 straight, but I'm with you. At home, I think they'll cover the 14.
Luke?
Yeah, I agree. I'm on the Gophers.
All right, Gophers all the way around. All right, let's move on down the card. Let's go to the Big Ten as well at a 3:30 kick. Northwestern visiting Iowa. Here's the sleep inducer of the week. Iowa minus 11, the total 37.5. And now here's the crazy part. Actually, it's 38 now. This thing opened at 35, and people are actually betting it up. It's up to 38 now. How could you bet this game over?
I don't know how you could bet it over. I just don't. Iowa came out, scored an early touchdown on Ohio State, and of course tanked it the rest of the way. Got a field goal the rest of the way. And I think one of your strong plays last week, Matt, was Iowa team total under.
Yeah,
I think it actually was 10.5.
Yeah.
I believe it was.
Yeah, I think we looked it up.
10.5.
You remember looking that up, Luke?
Actually, it was 7.5.
Oh, okay. So they
got it over.
They got over with that field goal.
Wait, actually, there was a many totals, but I think
you could kind of
7.5 was minus 135.
Yeah. I mean, and this is another game. How many do they score here?
I mean, I don't see.
And do they win? Because Northwestern can maybe win this game. I wouldn't put it past. I feel like Northwestern has a better offense than them. At least they showed a couple of times this year. But
I don't know. I don't think this total could be low enough. I can't see.
They had it right. 35. They opened it, and it's 38. Who's betting this over?
I like the game under.
Yeah, maybe people just blindly looking. And
Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I like the under, and I think the most of the practice this week has to be focused on the punters. I mean,
yeah.
Right, coffin corner kicks and
a concession stand selling enough coffee to keep people awake or caffeine to keep them awake.
I wonder how many first down passes there'll be in the game. I'd like to have a middle line on that. Actually,
yeah, the concession the operator saying make sure we order enough caffeine.
Yes, no decaf coffee sold at this game, and hot chocolate with lots of caffeine as well. So, all right, let's move on to the largest outdoor cocktail party. Coach, you've been to this game before.
I have been.
Florida
to this
Gators
game.
at the Georgia Bulldogs in Jacksonville. The Bulldogs minus 23.5, the total 56.5. Came up a little bit total wise. Public looks to be on this over. Probably when a lot of drunk people get together, they like to bet over the total and cheer for the points. It's from 54.5 up to 57. Any thoughts here? I would kind of lean Georgia, but this is a rivalry game, so I couldn't play them at 23. What do you think?
Well, only one of the last 8 meetings have been decided by less than 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yes. So I don't know. I did attend this game 3 years ago. Really cool setting.
Was that right prior to COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Half the stadium in the Florida Colors and half in Georgia, and it's a really, really cool setting. It was a really enjoyable game. I don't know. I think Georgia. I can't see Florida scoring very much in this game. I think I like that number to be around there, but I would probably lean Georgia a tick.
Yeah, maybe Florida team total under too. If you can get a decent. If it's around 20.5 or something, maybe.
Luke, what are you thinking on that one?
I'm against you. I'm on the Gators. I don't think Georgia.
Man, you guys are sparring quite often here today.
Man, oh man, jeez.
All right. Okay, I don't really have a strong opinion on that game. Probably look at that Florida total under maybe. Hit real quick on the Mean Green game. North Texas Mean Green at the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. My cousin Jake, Mark's nephew, scored a touchdown last week.
And it's his birthday today.
And it's his birthday today. So talked to my man this morning. He's doing good. Another big game for them. I like this game over. It's came down a little bit. Opened 71, now 68.5. Western Kentucky laying 10 in the game. Just hopeful that Jake continues to play well in the Mean Green. I think their program's trending in the right direction. They had a rough year last year, but they've been pretty competitive this year.
Yeah, they have been. They hit a tough streak there for a minute, but I think their
conference is deceptively good. It's a good league. Actually,
it is a good league. And but back to Jake, his younger brother, who's only a sophomore out in Oklahoma, is being heavily recruited. Just got offered by Missouri.
He was at the Tennessee game.
He was at the Tennessee upset over Bama. He's been offered by Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
awesome. And Riley won homecoming queen, their
Riley
sister.
Won homecoming queen. So the Roberts family in Oklahoma, we want to wish them well. And Kristen and Brian must be log some miles because they're
they ever get a day off
in between high school volleyball and going to North Texas. Yeah. But you know what? I know Kristen's got a smile on her face and having a ball. So I'm playing the Mean Green, catching the 10.
All right, Luke, any thoughts on the Mean Green game?
I played the Mean Green.
All right. Let's go to the Big 12 again. Oklahoma State visiting Kansas State. The Wildcats of K-State are now minus 1.5. The total 56.5. This opened the Cowboys Oklahoma State. We're a 1-point favorite. Say's team on the road. They opened the favorite. Now they're the dog. This is a tough game, guys. Public all over Oklahoma State. The sharp guys are on Kansas State. Where do we go here?
Boy, this is a tough one. We've been all over Oklahoma State. We ride the Cowboys, but they're going to have their hands full at what city's Kansas State? Manhattan. That's right. Yeah, Manhattan. That's going to be a dandy. I don't know, Luke. You can talk me into something here.
I'm on K-State. I've been a backer at K-State all year, and I think they're good. I think last week they beat TCU with a healthy Adrian Martinez, the quarterback. So I'm on K-State.
What does it say to you guys that I found this interesting? Oklahoma State opened the favorite. They're now the dog. K-State, even with a questionable quarterback with an injury, is taking the money. That to me is a sign. Maybe somebody knows something. I hate to say it, but this might be a bad spot for Gundy and the boys. They've played great up to this point, but I would proceed with caution. Probably not gonna have anything on this game pre-kick, but maybe observe and see if maybe you get involved in play.
And that's a beautiful 3:30 game, so everybody will be feeling pretty good about that time. We'll have Say wound up and rooting for his Cowboys, screaming and yelling. Yep. But Luke, you're on K-State, right?
I am.
All right, let's go jump back up one. I missed this game. Pac-12 game, Oregon visiting Cal. Oregon minus 17.5, total 58. This game opened Oregon minus 14.5. Bet up to 17.5. Public money starting to show on Oregon. They're starting to become a darling team again that people like to bet. I'd be leery of laying it here, but Bo Nix has been impressive, Coach. I had him written off. I had no idea he could play this well.
Yeah, they took care of my team last week, and I don't know. They may be starting to hit their stride here. They may be after that debacle against Georgia. They're really starting to play well. I can't see Cal staying in this game. I'm playing Oregon.
Okay, Luke.
Where's this game at?
It's at Cal, at Berkeley.
Yeah, give me Cal just because Bo Nix is really bad on the road. I know he's playing well right now, but he's due for a bad game too. So I'm going to take Cal plus 17.5.
All right, let's jump into the ACC as coaches Wake Forest Demon Deacons head to Louisville. The Deacons minus 3.5, total 62. Boy, Louisville's been hard for me to gauge this year. I would probably play Wake here just because I think they're just the better team, better coached. But you never know. Louisville could wake up one week and play well. I don't have a strong thought on this game.
I need Wake. I have 6 wins. I need them over 8.5. So this would be one that I predicted them to win. So I'm rolling with the Deacons this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the Demon Deacons.
All right, the Deeks it is. All right, let's jump down the card to Illinois. The Fighting Illini on the road at the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Illinois now 7.5, the total 50.5. This open Illinois minus 5.5. Jumped up a couple of points. Illinois has been playing well, guys. Do they go in here and get this win here in Lincoln against the Cornhuskers?
Well, interesting. This is I was doing some homework on this game. I believe Illinois is ranked number 17 in the country, first time since 2011, and they have the number 1 ranked defense in the nation, both scoring and total D. So their defense is very, very good.
I saw they've won the last 2 and covered the last 3 in the series.
Correct.
I think.
Yeah, and I think they keep it rolling. I think Illinois is a pretty darn good team in the Big Ten. I like them, and I really like them to cover in this game.
Okay, Luke.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think that's 7.5. So I'm gonna take the Cornhuskers.
Wow, man, you and Mark again, button heads.
We're gonna have to start laying some cash here, a buck a game or something here, Luke.
And, let's go back up to that Cincinnati UCF game. 1 game above that. UCF now minus 1, the total 56. Any thoughts on that game? UCF getting backed a little bit. They lost to East Carolina last week. Cincinnati's played well since their first game of the year. They got beat.
That's a toss-up game. That's one that I don't have much of a feel on at all. I'm with you about Cincinnati. I can't figure them out.
Can't figure them out.
The quarterback is back, right? He is playing. Okay, so I don't know. I don't have much of a feel. You guys, anything?
No, I don't. Luke, any thoughts on that game?
I'd probably go Cincinnati if I had to choose.
They're playing pretty well. All right, jump back to the ACC. The Missouri Tigers visiting the South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecocks minus 3.5, total 47. This is a pros versus Joes game. Public all over South Carolina. The professionals jumping on Missouri. Not really wild about backing either one of these teams, but if I had to make a choice, I'd probably lean Mizzou here. What do you guys say?
Boy, that's a tough one. South Carolina's 0-3 against the spread and straight up in this series. So, if that trend continues, I'm with you. Maybe Missouri on the road, and if you can get it at 3.5, I'd probably play Missouri here. I think that's the way I'm going to lean.
Okay, Luke.
South Carolina just they continue to impress with Shane Beamer. There are a lot of underdogs in these games in the SEC, and they just continue to win. I think he's building a really good program down there. So I'm going to roll with Beamer here.
Right. I agree with you. I think this is a game they have to win, though. If you're going to take that next step in the program, you got to win these home games that you're favored in against the program like Missouri. So this will be an interesting test for them. Not a game you would think they'd circle on the calendar, but nonetheless a really big game for their program.
So we're against each other again, Luke. Jeez, okay.
Man, whenever you guys agree, I think that might be the Busch Light play of the week.
Wow. So, well, we both agree on Notre Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame. Okay, that might be the only one.
And that might be our double up money for the Pine Room bet.
Money line.
Okay. All right. On to a huge game. A 7 o'clock kick. Kentucky visiting Tennessee. The Volunteers minus 12.5. The total 63.5. Public money all over Tennessee here. This is one of my top plays. I will be on Kentucky. I think this is a good spot for Kentucky. I think they battle in this game. Their defense is far better than Alabama's. I think they're going to not give up those big plays to Tennessee as Alabama did. I expect this to be close, and if I was going to have to choose on the total, I would probably lean to the under. What do you guys think?
Well, Kentucky's off of a bye, and before that they played their best game of the year.
Yes, we both had them that week,
beating Mississippi State. And I'm with you, Matt. I like. I'm leaning to the Wildcats here. Tennessee, is on a little bit of a roll here, but I think Kentucky goes in there and gives them a battle.
Yeah, Luke.
I think we're here to agree on this one. I'm all over the Wildcats. I think hate how all these Tennessee fans think they're the best team in the nation. I think this might be one of the worst college football playoffs it has ever been. I think if Tennessee gets in and they got in like a couple years past, I mean they'd get just absolutely destroyed. So I think they're another fraud team. I think they could maybe get upset this week, and I really hope they do to break their fans' hearts.
Hey, I wouldn't count it out. Kentucky, I think, is really well coached. I think they'll have a shot. We'll see.
So you're not a fan of the Tennessee fans, huh?
No, they're horrible.
They're pretty loud and obnoxious.
Ever since they threw all the trash on the field, I think it was Ole
Kiffin.
Miss. Yeah. They think they're something they're not. They haven't been good.
Yeah, they're desperate to be good again. I feel sorry for them.
That's one thing about Notre Dame fans. They're humble, right? Even when winning.
Most
of
them.
Issue.
9 out of 10 of them. Not all of them.
Like Ohio State fans, right? Very humble.
Right.
Yes.
We love our Ohio State fans. We know.
Yes.
We got plenty of listeners. All right. Let's head to the Pac-12. USC visiting Arizona. USC minus 15. A total 76. I don't know. I'd be leery about laying the 15 on the road here. I'd play Arizona or pass on this game. I think USC is pretty good, and I really think they're going to be good in a year or two. Just not sure they're there yet and strong enough to cover 15 on the road.
I'm with you. I'm playing. I'm definitely playing Arizona here at home.
Okay, Luke.
I'm on the under.
Okay, I like that. I think that's a strong play. 76. That's getting a little bit out of hand. SC's got a good offense, but geez. I think that under might be a good play. All right, Ole Miss at Texas A&M, a 7:30 kick in the SEC. Ole Miss minus 2.5, the total 55. This is a game. Ole Miss last week really thoroughly embarrassed at LSU in the second half of that game. They were toe-to-toe with them, and then they just completely fall apart. Texas A&M's entire program is in shambles right now. They got guys smoking weed in the locker room.
That's unbelievable.
In the locker room.
That's
incredible. What kind of a guy thinks that's okay? And then the coach, he's a disaster. We've been saying it here on this show for weeks now. Jimbo Fisher can't coach. He might recruit these guys, but he doesn't do anything with them when he gets them there. I'd like to pass on both these teams, but I guess I'll take Ole Miss if I had to.
I'd play Ole Miss here too with the problems that A&M have.
They said the locker room's given up. They said it's just completely, and all these guys, the problem when you're bringing in all these 5-stars is they all think they're NFL studs, and they're already behaving like they're NFL guys. So, Luke, what are you thinking about this?
I'm on the Rebels. I think A&M's just an absolute mess. And I think if they lose this, I think they really got to think of Jimbo being on the hot seat.
Yeah, And how about that buyout? It's like $87 million.
And then Jimbo come to West Virginia, right?
Perfect. Perfect for them. They'll never win again. Yeah, jeez. Oh, boy. Look out, Mountaineer fans. You don't want that guy. You're better off going out and trying to get Rich Rodriguez back.
That's exactly
You should have never left. All right, Michigan versus Michigan State. The Spartans visiting the Wolverines. Wolverines minus 23.5 now. The total 54.5. This opened 21.5. Now up to 23.5. I've not been a big Michigan backer. They've worried me all year, but I think they'll absolutely massacre the Spartans here. I really, really like Michigan in this spot, and I don't like to lay points like that, but I think they absolutely crush Sparty here.
And, Michigan State's won the last two in this series and gave the Wolverines their only regular season loss last year.
Yes, they did.
So
payback.
Yeah, but I'm sort of leaning with you, Matt. I can't see Michigan State scoring much here. I like this game under the total. Really, I do. I like this game under the total.
Yeah, I could see this being like 47-3 Michigan. Or something.
I don't see Michigan State scoring much here.
Luke, what do you think?
I'm on Sparty here.
Okay.
I just can't. I don't think Michigan's good either.
I don't either.
See it. I don't think they can throw the ball. They have a good run game, and I think Michigan State, obviously their passing game their defense for the passing game is horrible, but I think they'll be able to stop the run a little bit and stay within those points.
Yeah, Michigan State's performance against Ohio State a few weeks ago, I was appalled at how bad a Big Ten team can be. They're completely outclassed. I think it happens here again, but again, I still worry about Michigan offensively, like you were saying, Luke. Just a little concerned about them. They're so reliant on the run. And that can only, you got to be able to run the football, but you got to be able to throw it too in today's modern game.
And they praise Jim Harbaugh when he's played Connecticut and Hawaii every week.
Right. Their out of conference schedule was laughable. It should be. But then again, the Ohio State guys, they played nobody except you the whole year. So we'll see. Interesting game. Big rivalry clash. Usually that game always turns out to be crazy, chaotic ending like that punt game a few years ago. I'll never forget that one. All right, Baylor at Texas Tech in the Big 12. The Red Raiders minus 2.5, total 63. This opened 61, is now up to 63, so you're seeing some overplay there. Man, my Baylor Bears have disappointed me. I really needed them to win a couple of these close games that they've had. They're 4-3 now. They're never going to get to the over the 7.5. So that bet is done. I like Texas Tech here.
So
actually.
do I.
I think Baylor has realized their season's starting to come to a halt. And they may just go through the motions.
I'm with you. I'm playing Texas Tech here.
They got some confidence. They got some swagger. That team's not bad.
At home, night game.
We were all way wrong on them. We had them pegged to be terrible, and we were way wrong. So
yes, I'm on Texas Tech.
Luke,
I'm on the Bears here. I think the Bears win the game straight up. I think this is a get right game for them. If they win this, I think
be a big one for them.
Some momentum. And I'm on the Bears here. I believe in the coach, and I think he gets right here.
I agree with the coach. Definitely. Let's go down to ACC. Pitt at North Carolina. The Tar Heels minus 3. The total 64.5. Starting to see some play on the over here. Boy, Pitt's been disappointing. North Carolina's kind of righted the ship after the beginning of the year that they had. Couldn't stop anybody. West Liberty might have scored 50 on them. But Tar Heels laying the points here at home. I don't know. Pitt, I can't trust them, but I really can't trust North Carolina either. I might play this game under, but don't know.
I like the Tar Heels here.
Okay.
I'm with you. I think Pitt's had a disappointing season. I think North Carolina's playing much better. I think North Carolina, night game there, I like them to cover that 3.
Okay, Luke.
We're against each other again. I'm on the Panthers.
Okay.
I think North Carolina's defense is just really bad, and I think if you could just stop them a couple times, you could win the game.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Pitt's they've been so inconsistent on offense. That's a game, just going back to the Mountaineers. They let that get away from them.
Yes.
Their whole season could have been different if they would have won that game.
What about that Pac-12 showdown you forgot about?
Oh, yeah. Geez, how can Arizona State at Colorado? Yeah, ESPNU 7:30. Be sure and set your DVR for this. You'll want to watch it twice. It'll be so good. Arizona State minus 13. The total 46.5. All right.
The over.
All right. Luke's on the over there. Coach, any thoughts there? I got nothing.
No, we won't have that on one of the Pine Room TVs.
Well, Nick might have that as well.
That's true. Well, by that time,
he seems like the kind of guy that would love Colorado.
By that time, he'll be throwing his phone up in the air by then and sitting up in the corner.
Hopefully, somebody brings a good dessert,
or he'll be what
peanuts in the air.
Those peanut those peanut butter filled pretzels. Yeah.
All right, and then finishing up here in the Pac-12, Stanford at UCLA. Coaches Bruins minus 17.5. Now the total 64.5. It opened 14.5. Taking some play on UCLA, some play on the over. public's starting to get behind UCLA a little bit. Do they bounce back after last week's debacle?
I hope. No, I can't stub my toe here because this is one that I had to. Now we've won a few that I didn't think would win.
Now Stanford can't upset another team like this, can they?
Boy, you wouldn't think, and I sure hope not. I hope the Bruins come out and take care of business here because that could get me much closer to my my Fresno State T-shirt from Lauren the Bettor. So I'm
right now. You stand at 6-1, right?
I was 6-1, and I need 3 more wins. So okay. I need this one. So I'm playing my beloved Bruins, but unfortunately, I will not probably be seeing much of this game.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes our college card for this week. One thing I wanted to mention: I actually have a winner. I can check mark Oregon State. If you played them over the 5.5, they got their 6th win last week. They are off this week, so the Beavers are celebrating up there in Corvallis. So they got the job done. One of my first future winners. And one of the only ones I have that are actually in contention. But actually, Virginia Tech's still looking good under. But anyway, that's the college card for week number 9 here on Bettor's Last Stand. We are going to take a break and come back and give you all the winners in pro football.
Easy sport.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand. We're going to talk some NFL now. Guys, exciting college card we just discussed there. You and Luke are going to be butting heads.
Yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be great. We'll be battling, throwing peanuts at each other and ribbing each other, and then of course he'll leave me.
Yeah, he will.
About what, 5 o'clock?
No, later.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, you need to stay. We need to get pumped up.
I'd say 7 o'clock.
Well, that's not too bad. Boy, it used to be, midnight, 1 o'clock.
Shit, he'd be there earlier than Nick sometimes.
Earlier than Nick and later than me.
Yeah, yep. Well,
so, but that happens when you...
Yeah.
When girls ruin everything.
When you're a stud high school athlete and all the women
girls ruin everything.
Yeah, they do.
It's incredible. So.
They do. Well, if we got any lady bettors watching the show, email the show at contact@thepineroompodcast.com. Give Luke some advice. Stay in the Pine Room as long as you can. But anyway, for those of you just joining us or haven't watched the show before, follow us on social media at the Pine Room Podcast. And as I just gave you the email, contact@thepineroompodcast.com. And be sure and check out our shop, the online store that Jubb has done such a great job with, thepineroomshop.com. Get all your Pine Room swag. You got our Halloween gears in there for a couple more days, probably a week or two more. We got the Halloween show coming up on Friday at River City. Be sure and check that out. Be sure and check our podcast out from the prison, which would have came out yesterday, Thursday of this week. Our Ohio County Tailgate, November the 4th. Wheeling Park and John Marshall. Soup and Stuff, we just launched it. Those guys were working on the second show of that, the second installment of Soup and Stuff. First one was really great with Sarah's on Main, so be sure and check that out. Coach, how was your meal down there?
Oh, it was excellent. I had a grinder and I had a bowl of
looked good
soup that was fantastic. It's a really cool setting, and I'd highly recommend going to Sarah's. They're a little limited on their hours, which I'm not real sure why, but I think they're only open on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and maybe Saturday morning. But when you're in there, it's fantastic, and the food is great. I enjoyed every second of it.
All right,
did a lot of my homework down there, too. It was great.
Nice, yeah. So shout out to Soup and Jubb for all the great work they've done there. Soup is just killing it every day now. He just continues to amaze us with his efforts and his sponsorships that he's been able to get with us for us. We have a lot of new partnerships starting to develop that we'll be telling you all about down the road. But we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to talk NFL now. Jump into the Thursday game. This will be seen after that. But any thoughts on the Ravens-Bucks, guys, as we start?
Before we jump into these, I want to talk again about some of these coaching decisions, these NFL coaches. And honestly, you shake your head at a lot of things that happen. You ask, why do you do it? But I just don't understand the logic of some of these guys. And we talked the other day, and it's not because we were betting Miami. Well, I guess it was a little bit, but they ended up not covering because, I mean, it was, what was it? Was it in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
It was in the fourth quarter, and they were up 6.
It was either early fourth or very late third. Do you recall, Luke, when they didn't kick that field goal?
Fourth, I didn't want to say fourth.
Okay, I think it might have been the first drive of the fourth.
And it ended up not a point scored in the second half. Actually, you won.
I hit that board.
You won the first half.
How often do you get that 6-0 and
not get a point? Sometimes you can come back and win 26-20.
Right.
But 16-10, there weren't going to be many points scored. It was pretty much a chip shot. Yeah. Could have put them up 2 scores. I don't know even analytically what the thinking was that you wouldn't go up 9 instead of risking not making. And the Steelers had 2 legitimate chances to win that game.
If they have Roethlisberger, they win that game.
Oh, my God.
100 out of 100 times.
Oh, geez, yeah, absolutely. I just, watching the NFL, and Champ, as goofy as he is, even says sometimes he just can't figure out why these guys will not kick a field goal when it's, and I can see 4th and inches. Okay, if it's an inch and get a sneak maybe, but 4th and 3s, 4th and 4, and now they even do it in their own end.
Oh, it's incredible.
And 4th and 3,
colleges are starting to do it as well.
I just don't. I don't know.
It wasn't like that was an up and down game either. Points were at a premium.
Right.
You've gone the entire 3 quarters and there's been 26 points scored. It wasn't like you were moving the ball at will and you were just saying, we can get this no matter what. If not, we'll get another chance. I can't believe it either. And no analyst anywhere would have told them not to kick right there. It's malpractice, and it almost seems like he was trying not to cover the spread.
And sometimes you just shake your head and say, really?
So before we start anointing that guy, McDaniel, was that his name?
Yeah.
That he's a great coach. When they started out 3-0, everybody loved him. Then they lose 3 in a row, and then they won that last week, but they shouldn't probably have won that game.
I mean, he would have been answering a lot of questions. He probably still had to answer a lot of questions why he didn't kick, but if they would have lost 17-16, I mean, what they could have easily made it 19-10, and the Steelers had no chance of winning that game after that.
The chances of the Steelers scoring 2 times were very slim.
Absolutely.
I really think you cut your chances of winning the game down by doing that.
So when you're gambling, don't just be aware that the analytics now play a lot to do with whether you're going to cover or not. Because it's just,
and it is amazing for even as good as offenses as Nick Saban's had over the years, and even Belichick when he had Brady. Those guys took the points when they need to. They always do, and you really. That starts to show why they win so many games.
They punt when they have to,
right?
Even if it's questionable.
Even if they don't really want to.
Just so they flip the field. I always heard Belichick say, "Flip the field."
Yep.
If you can dig your way out of being stuck in your territory and move it out to midfield, but stall, you've flipped the field and you've basically won that drive. Even if you didn't score, you won the drive. Now you have them pinned in. And they don't gamble like some of these guys, like the gambler Ron Rivera and other guys that just think that's cool. I just don't get it.
It also amazes me too with the caliber of quarterback that's in the league that there's not that many good ones right now. There's a lot of guys we thought were good that really maybe aren't. It surprises me how many teams go for things like that with bad offenses, bad quarterbacks.
I know.
It's different if you're Mahomes and you're going. I almost can see why Andy Reid would go for it every time. Like I can live with that, even though you probably don't agree with it. But that's a big difference between him and Tua.
Absolutely.
So anyway, be on the lookout for those. We didn't get to watch it as we were at the prison doing the show that night, but. It sounded like that game might have been an in-play under as they just continued to hit
unbelievable
under.
I see in your NFL news and notes some really stats that are standing out there. The NFL dogs, 60, 45, and 3, and that's been quite noticeable.
6 outright winners again last week.
Yeah, that's been quite noticeable, and the unders, are hitting at a 59% clip. So the dogs and under have been the way to go so far. Now, will that flip? Who knows? But that's been.
It might not. It seems like more and more each week goes by. Like, how many weeks do you go before you say maybe there's only 3 to 4 good teams, and then the rest of them are just average altogether?
And people a couple weeks ago, Baltimore had separated themselves as being like one of the elite teams. Tampa's come way back to earth. I mean,
Baltimore. This game on Thursday will be interesting to me because Baltimore's lost so many games. They legitimately, you can make a case that they'd be undefeated, but you could also make a case they lose a few more games.
Well, they could have. The Browns could have easily beaten.
Yeah, and the Bengals could have as well. It's a fine line. Baltimore, I think, if they get it cleaned up, they could be dangerous. Their schedule is really, really easy after this game.
Yes.
It's going to be one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. So,
and I do like them Thursday against Tampa.
Yeah, I do too. I think Tampa's in trouble. I'd
Luke,
hate to say that against Brady, but
I'm on Tampa here.
Are you?
I think Brady's just a bounce back kind of guy.
I just don't know how if they can beat Carolina 4 days ago, they're going to be able to beat Baltimore. But I agree, the spot says Brady, but I don't know. I'm thinking Todd Bowles is dragging the ship down pretty hard.
Yeah.
We'll see. Should be a good game. You'll be able to tell us if we're right or wrong.
Yeah.
It'll be after the show. All right, Denver at Jacksonville, starting it off. The Jags minus 2.5, total 39. I don't know what to make of this game. Is Russell Wilson going to be benched? I don't even know if he's injured. They're saying that he doesn't have the job anyway. Hackett's on the hot seat. I mean, this is crazy. The Jags have kind of come back to earth a little bit after a great start. Coach, where do you go here?
I'm not going to interrupt my early Sunday plans to watch this game from London. I'm not too crazy about this game. I think it'll stay under the total, but I don't have much of a feel. Luke?
I would probably play the Jaguars here. I just think Denver, my under 10 wins for them is looking great, but I don't know.
It is.
The Broncos, they're a mess.
Yeah, I feel sorry for these Londoners. They get stuck with these bad games. Now, that Green Bay Giant game ended up being an exciting finish, but it was like the first 3 quarters were very boring. But these poor English people, we're trying to get them acclimated to our football, and they can't ever see like the Chiefs and the Raiders or something, or Chiefs Chargers, something good. But
I saw a stat the other day with the Broncos. They've allowed one of the least fewest points in the league, 16.1 points per game, and all the teams that are at the 16, 17 point mark are 5-2, undefeated, and then they're the only team that's 2-5. So.
Yeah, and they're fortunate to be 2-5, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Tough times for them. All right, let's move on to a 1 o'clock kick. Arizona comes to the Midwest to visit Minnesota. Minnesota minus 3.5, total 49. This actually opened Minnesota minus 6.5. So I don't know where this money is showing on Arizona. There's been some money on the over, the total 49 there. I like the Vikings here. If I can get 3.5, I probably will stay away from it. But if it drops to 3, I'll be on Minnesota. Arizona's been good on the road. People keep wanting to think they've solved their problems, and they played all right last week. I don't know. Where do you guys go in here?
Boy, I don't know. I'm leaning towards Arizona a little bit here.
Okay. Vikings are hard to trust too.
Yeah, but they're 5-1, and heck, they're out in front of this division. So if they get
big
a win
favorites
here,
to win it too.
And look here, they get a win here. Green Bay is a double-digit dog, and the Lions aren't going to. They could separate themselves. So this is a big
Vikings
big spot
4-0 in one-score games.
But I'm going to turn around. I'm going to play Arizona here.
Okay, Luke.
I agree, Mark. I'm on Arizona.
Okay, you guys pairing up. I'll better look out on that game. Put a star by that one, folks. These guys are found their first unanimous choice in the NFL. All right, let's go on to the Bears visiting the Cowboys. Cowboys minus 9.5, total 42.5. Bears off a upset win of New England the other night. That game was just a disaster from the start. The Bears basically ran the same play every time, drop back, and Fields tuck it and run. But somehow Belichick couldn't figure that out. I don't know what's going on there. But
I know.
I don't know. I think Dallas might steamroll them here. I think the Bears absolutely stink. I don't know how they keep winning games, but they're not very good. They're going to come back to earth at some point.
I like Dallas.
All right, Luke?
Yeah, I'm on Dallas. And did you guys see Robert Quinn got traded to the Eagles?
I did. As if they need anybody else.
Yes.
Jeez, the Eagles just right now they're looking great. They're looking like a 15-win team, Coach.
Yeah.
You light the cigar and you're over there as long as Hurts don't get hurt. All right, let's move on to the Raiders at the Saints. Raiders a 2-point road favorite, total 49.5 here. Boy, the Saints have been disappointing. I haven't liked them from the beginning of the season. A lot of people did for some reason. Raiders up and down. I would tend to lean Raiders here, but man, this is the NFL, and I don't know. I don't feel great about laying points on the road. How about you?
Luke Duplaga says Raiders. I'm going Vegas.
Okay. Luke?
Let's go Raiders.
Okay. Ooh. Public money shown on the Raiders. I think the book's out on the Saints. This actually opened a pick, and it's now Raiders -2, so you're definitely seeing that money shown on the Raiders. All right, let's move to another 1 o'clock game. The Carolina Panthers off an upset win over Tom Brady. They had all kind of disastrous things happen. The coach gets fired. They got the third-string quarterback in there, and they beat Brady easily.
Incredible.
They will head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons minus 4.5, the total 42. Sharp money on the Falcons early here. I expect the Falcons to bounce back a little bit. Don't love them, but Carolina probably celebrating after that win last week. This could be a bad spot for them.
Atlanta 6-1 against the against the spread. I like them to continue. I think this is it's a pretty good play for Atlanta here.
Okay, Luke.
Yeah, I'm on the Falcons as well.
Ooh. All right, we're all on the Falcons there. All right, let's go to Dolphins at the Lions. The Dolphins now minus 3.5. The total now up to 52. It opened 48.5. So lots of points expected in this one. The Lions, I don't know. Where do you begin with the Lions? It's just every year you think this team is turned the corner. Dan Campbell 4-18-1 with the Lions, and then on the road, or actually has not won a road game. He's 0-11-1 on the road. I mean, that's just appalling. Now they are home here, but I thought those were interesting stats. People keep wanting to get behind the Lions, guys. Do you have any faith that they can?
I don't know. They're 8-2 as a home dog in their last 10. I like the Lions a little bit here.
I don't feel comfortable with Miami.
I don't either. I'm playing the Lions here as a home dog.
Okay, Luke?
I'm on Detroit as well.
Okay.
Ooh, Luke, we are rolling.
All right, you guys are getting it together in NFL. All right, moving on to another 1 o'clock kick on CBS. The Steelers visiting the Eagles in the Battle of Pennsylvania. Eagles minus 10.5, the total 43. I don't think the Steelers can win this game, but I think they'll play tougher and closer than people think here. I think the Eagles off a bye. Usually teams with momentum like them take a bye week. Maybe it takes them a little bit to get focused. I'd be looking at maybe a Steeler first half play here too. I don't love the Steelers.
Not a bad play.
But I think maybe they hang around in the game. Maybe they make enough plays. But, man, the Eagles are rolling. They're very, very good. They just continue to add assets and good players. Thoughts?
If it's 10.5, maybe take the Steelers. If you get it at 10.5, get that.
It's just so much in the NFL,
half,
right?
But boy, I don't know. I think the Steelers are very, very bad and just a mess.
They are.
And the Eagles, they're just loaded. And if Hurts plays well, I don't know. I can't see the Steelers staying with them. I don't have a strong play here. Luke,
I'm on Steelers. I just think this is too many points. I think the Steelers defense can keep them in the game.
Is Watt ever going to come back?
This week, I think.
I just got the alert. He's on the 20. He's on his 21 day, starting now. He's on his. So he'll be back within 21 days.
Okay. So they could use him this week, but too late. All right, let's move on. New England at the New York Jets. New England minus 2. Total 40.5. Tough to lay points on the road in New England right now. They're a mess. They don't know who their quarterback is. Jets did lose Breece Hall in one of their tackles last week. Big losses there. 2 huge losses. But the Jets have been feisty. I got to say, I had Robert Salah written off, and he's showed me he's done a nice job. Kept the ship above water. I don't know. I would probably lean Jets here. I really just can't lay points on the road right now in New England. But Belichick, every time you think he's done, he surprises you.
I think the Jets cover here. I think the Jets win the game outright at home. I've been really surprised at the Jets. I'm actually happy about it. Makes me happy to see a team that struggled so bad having a little bit of success.
Yes,
and I think they cover again this week. I like them.
Okay, I can live with that. All right, Luke, thoughts?
I'm on the Patriots. Mac Jones got named a starter. I think he shows up this week, and I think the Patriots get the win here. I think Belichick flexes his muscles here, and they win the game.
Would you agree if Mac Jones doesn't perform well this week, he could be in trouble? Or not?
Yeah, I feel like he would be good in other offenses. I don't know. The Patriots they have no one on offense. I don't know what they expect him to throw to.
I don't get anything they've done offensively in the last few years from a draft standpoint. All right, let's go to 4 o'clock kicks. The Tennessee Titans visiting the Houston Texans. The Titans minus 2. The total 40.5. This is a division game. This is the total has been interesting. Public on the over. Sharper bettors on the under. Guys, these division games tend to be very, very close. Minus 2, though, I really am surprised. I thought the Titans, after a good performance last week, would be laying at least a field goal and a half here. I'm surprised at this. Any thoughts on this game?
I like this game under the total.
Okay.
I like it under 40.5. I think both running teams, and I do like the Texans a little bit in this game, but I'm playing the game under.
Okay, Luke?
I'm on the Titans. I think the Titans are really good, actually. I think they're a sleeper team. I think they could get to the playoffs and surprise a lot of teams. I think they're really good.
Yeah, well, you have been on the Titans since the beginning of the year, and your Derrick Henry bet's starting to look up a little bit. He's been running the ball really well. I would agree. I think the Titans are a little bit better than I thought. I thought they would take a step backwards, but they've kept it together pretty well. I did read here, I got a note, Texans covered 8 of the last 10 against the division. So, like I say, these division games just so close. But I would lean the Titans if I can get that 2. If it went up to 3 or 3.5, I'd stay away or take Houston. All right, moving on. The Washington Redskins visiting the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts -3, the total 40. Yes, I know if you're going to email me, they are the Commanders, but we will always call them the Redskins on this show. Colts opened -6, down to -3. Matt Ryan's been benched. This team... the owner, Irsay's pissed off. He's ready to start killing people. So this is a make it or break spot for Frank Reich. He's got to get something going here. Sharp money on the under right now when Ryan was taken out of the starting lineup. I don't know where to go here, fellas. The Redskins have been playing better. Colts are a mess, but usually wounded animals in the NFL sometimes can be dangerous. So.
Yeah, and Washington ruined our Busch Light pick last week. We honestly, the Packers, well, they cut it to 24-22, but really never really threatened. But I like Indy here a little bit. I like them in this game. I'm looking here. The Commanders, the Redskins are just 2-7 against the spread as an away dog in their last 9, and I like Indy. They're 6-2 against the spread as a non-divisional home favorite. I like the Colts here.
Luke, what do you think about the quarterback move for the Colts as they bring the kid? What's the kid? From Ellinger from Texas.
Yes. I don't know. I think that should be their focus point in the draft this year, obviously. Right. But
he's a little more mobile than Matt Ryan.
Yes, I like the Colts though here as well, -3. I think they need to get Jonathan Taylor more involved.
Boy, he's been a disappointment. I remember Lauren Bettor had hit some props for him over for the season. She's taking on the chin.
We got to get back with her.
Yeah, we will. She's been busy. Scored? No, if he did, it was week 1 because I don't think he scored since. Commanders, I think, have gotten a little bit of a lift with Heineke coming in. It's amazing how you see these how teams play and rally behind certain guys, maybe even if they're not as talented. So maybe that could work for the Colts here. Maybe they feel like they get a little shot in the arm here. Interesting game. I don't know where I'll go. I probably lean Indy, but we'll see.
Because I remember Lauren the Better saying that I think her bet was Jonathan Taylor to lead the league in touchdowns.
She was going head to head with you and Henry. Yeah, man. She's in trouble there.
Big trouble.
How about to play that under 1.5? What kind of return she could add? All right, the 49ers. So speaking of disappointing teams, they have been the last 2 weeks, but they have been injured.
And how about the Rams?
Yes, visiting another disappointing team who's coming off a bye week. The Rams, the 49ers visit the Rams. 49ers now -1 in the game. The Rams had opened -2.5. The total down from 40, or actually up. I'm sorry, opened at 40, up to 43.5. This just comes down to Shanahan's own McVay. I think they've won 7 in a row regular season. They did lose the playoff game to him last year. I don't know. I'll be on the 49ers here. I don't think the Rams have it figured out.
I agree.
I'm on the Niners. I don't love it because they're not playing well either, but I don't know. The Rams look something's off.
And they're 2-6 in their against the spread the last 8 games. Yeah. I'm with you. They just are out of sync. Stafford does not look good. They can't run the ball.
Nope.
I lean Niners here.
And they were disappointed. They were in on the McCaffrey thing, and the Niners took them right out from under them. So tough one there. Luke, what do you think?
I'm on the Niners as well.
All right, unanimous on the Niners. Brad McLaughlin will be happy. He's an avid watcher of BLS. He was fired up. We talked NBA last week, so shout out to Brad.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching, Brad, and we'll talk more of
wear your Niners hat Sunday, Brad.
Yes, we'll be cheering for you. 425 kick. All right, let's go on to another 425 kick. The Giants visiting the Seahawks. Seahawks -3, total 45. Seahawks opened 1.5, up 1.5. Total up from 43 to 45. Jeez, these two teams have been the hottest 2 teams in the NFL right now.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Who would have ever thought this was a game with playoff implications entering Week 8? I would probably take the points with the Giants here if I had to, but man, I can see why people are backing the Seahawks. Geno Smith's been incredible. Maybe the front runner for MVP right now.
I like the Giants here. Well, you're right there. I'd say he's got to be up in the talk, but I like the Giants here. I think they can run the football. I like the game under the total a little bit,
right?
But I like the Giants catching the points.
Yeah.
Barkley's having a great year.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has been, just good enough to keep them at the way they're playing. So I like the Giants.
Yeah, this would be a game where I would have taken the points no matter whoever was favored. I'm taking the dog because I think the points are valuable. I think these teams are pretty even. Luke, thoughts?
I'm on my Seahawks here.
Okay,
we're 2 wins away from the win total. So
yes, you're creeping up on it. You're looking pretty strong there, man. That's a good pick by you. All right, so Luke's on the Seahawks. All right, let's go to the Sunday night game. We got 2 left here. Green Bay visiting Buffalo. This would have been tabbed as one of the games of the year. However, Buffalo now minus 11, the total 47.5. Just when you think the Green Bay's done, maybe they are done. I'm sure you guys have been unimpressed with them as I have. I don't know, 11 though in an NFL game, man. Is it just that easy? Does Buffalo just steamroll them?
There's been nothing that has impressed me at all about Green Bay.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they've looked terrible. People keep saying, "Well, you just wait, the Packers." But
no.
I don't see it happening. But like you said, 11, Aaron Rodgers. I like the Packers
Sunday
a little bit
night,
to cover that spread.
Yeah, maybe backdoor. Maybe they're down 17 and they score late. Green Bay's defense is really disappointing me. With a young offensive group of skilled players, you'd think that defense would really be digging in, saying, look, we got to do a little better and keep these guys in it because, we got a great quarterback and we got good running backs. These guys will eventually come along. But their defense has been just abysmal. Just really, really embarrassing. Those guys should be ashamed of themselves. So, but I would lean Green Bay maybe, but I could really see Buffalo beating them like 40-7. And Luke, thoughts?
I'm on the Packers here. Just too many points for Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, I think that's the consensus, but it really wouldn't surprise me, like we say, if Buffalo did kill them. All right, and then Monday Night Football, Battle of Ohio, the Bengals visiting the Browns. Bengals minus 3.5, the total 47. It opened Bengals minus 2.5, up a point. Total up from 45 to 47. Most people will be against me on this, and you know where I usually am against the Bengals. I'm not just fading them because this week. I actually think this is a good spot for the Browns. I will take the Browns plus the 3.5 at home. I think they have a good chance to win the game. What do you guys say?
I think the Bengals are starting to hit their stride. Burrow played incredible last week. I think their offensive line is.
I've heard some people saying this
is getting healthy. They're getting in sync. I look for them. I think they take care of business heavy here. I really like. Really like.
I'm me and Coach at odds on this one.
I really like the Bengals here.
Okay, Luke, what do you say?
I'm on the Bengals as well.
Okay. You guys think the Browns are just cooked, huh?
Yeah, I think so, but I think the Bengals are starting to play well, and I'm still,
man. The Bengals, they just haven't. To me, they haven't beat anybody good, but we will see. This is a big showdown, Monday Night Football. I heard some guys today saying they had the Bengals picked as the third best team in the NFL now, behind the Bills and the Eagles. So
I'm with them. I like them.
We shall see. All right, this is Bettor's Last Stand, show 15. Boy, we've been doing these for a while now. Again, thanks to everybody here at the WVLY studios downtown here. The Watchdog have been great partners with us. They've let us do a show every Monday, so be sure and check that out. 2 to 3 p.m. on Mondays. We talk high school football. Coach, you pumped for high school Ohio playoffs this week?
I'm going to be a little I'm really anxious to get to River City and have a ball, but I'm going to miss sitting outside and having a couple of beers and watching the games. And I love you sending the scores and I wish all the high teams good luck in the playoffs and. West Virginia is going to start sorting out their playoff standings here this weekend with 2 more to go. So good luck to everybody, and thanks to everybody that's listening, and thanks to WKKX and
fun as usual.
WVLY.
We will be back here next week on Bettor's Last Stand as we go through the football card, and we'll talk World Series and everything else that's happening in sports. Eventually, we'll even talk a little bit of World Cup soccer, which is right around the corner. So I'm pretty excited about that. Some of our viewers hopefully are interested in that. We'll give you a little crash course in soccer betting. But that's in the weeks to come. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week, either outside or probably in the studio again as the weather starts to turn. Have a good week. Good luck in your bets, and we'll see you next week on Bettor's Last Stand.
See ya.